Oh, look, another new content creator posting a video about how great Wuthering Waves is and shitting on other gachas like Genshin Impact. Listen, you can never have enough opinions on the internet, and I'm here to share mine. I have been playing gacha games for almost a decade now, starting from the 2D anime games all the way to what we have now. Back then, gacha games weren't really that popular, especially on their own, so most of the ones that I played were the anime ones. You know, the One Piece Treasure Cruise, the Dokkan Battle, and Naruto Ultimate Ninja Blazing. Really missed that one. We used to have the games released in Japan first, and depending on their success, a global version would release after a while, and some never got a global release, like the Hunter x Hunter game. All of this also happened when the mobile games were just starting to take over and improve, so there wasn't much gameplay nor story, just your favorite character that you have no guaranteed chances to get. Ah, yes, there was no such thing as pity back then, and the free to play experience was shit. The games basically lived off of the hype of the anime characters, and with Dokkan, people still seem crazy about pulling Gogeta and Vegeta for the millionth time, like myself. Power creep was also expected to happen in these games. Almost every game did it. Now, for me, the power creep wasn't really the problem, but how they used to buff those older characters. See, in order for you to make your older characters great again, you'd have to grind so hard to gather stupid materials to make them somewhat viable for the next couple of updates. And sometimes these events were so hard that you would need the newer characters to complete. And that was the formula for the older anime gachas. They hook you because you love the character in anime, and then you enter a loop of wanting to get the next one while grinding on stupid events to get your older characters stronger. All of this with no pity system and a mid gameplay experience. So fast forward from that era, and now we have the 3D gacha games. Some were based on anime, and some were not. We started getting PC versions, and not just a mobile version. And China entered the space. You got the Honkai Impact, PGR, Dragon Ball Legends, 7 Deadly Sins Grand Cross, to name a few that I still play. And of course, Genshin Impact. Things changed from the 2D era. The gameplay, story, and gacha system improved. Games started adding a pity system to their banners. Even old ones who withstood the test of time started implementing a pity system or a coin system where you get coins for pulling that you can later on use in the shop to get limited characters. But even still, these games seem to do one thing right and 10 things wrong. You would either get a generous game when it comes to the gacha system, but the gameplay and story would be lacking. A new example of this for me would be solo leveling Arise, or I should say, slow grinding Arise. A game that I think is the most generous out of all, where I have almost all the characters and dupes of them, their signature weapon fully refined, but the gameplay experience in that game is just the worst. Imagine you grind for your artifacts, or echoes, or equipments, whatever you want to call them, and they can go only to a certain level, let's say 30, and they have 2 substats. And after you build all your characters, they release newer equipments that can go to level 50 and have 3 substats. Yeah, that game did it. 3 times. Artifacts max level was 35. Then they released level 50, then 75, and now 100. Or vice versa, where a game has a unique gameplay and somewhat good story, but the gacha system would be greedy and stupid. And of course, let's not forget about the power creep. In the end, the old formula to keep players hooked through releasing a beloved anime character while making the players grind to make their older ones still viable was changed to releasing characters with bigger assets that show more skin and making the players suffer so hard from power creep that they beg the developers to buff older units. And from my experience, the road of buffing older units is just the beginning of the end at this point. So now enter Wuthering Waves. Listen, I'm not going to give you a full history lesson about the game, how it had a rough launch, and the endless problems that it had in the beginning, how they improved it. We all know this by now. But I recently made a guide video for newer players, and I was amazed at how much things have changed and improved. From the story where you can do an early access to Ananta after unlocking your first Resonance Nexus, to the banner system where you can get up to 3 standard characters and a limited character and weapon of your choice from the 1.x roster that you can pull on, to the improved exploration, where you can just open the map and see what activities you have in an area, and not just wander endlessly or teleport to every corner of the map to use your loot mapper, managing your resources and how much the game is giving you through their events, and of course, building your echoes and having a built-in guide. Unlike the other gachas, where they do one thing right and 10 things wrong, Wuthering Waves seems to be doing the opposite, where they do 10 things right and maybe one thing wrong if you're an elitist or super critic about the game. Like, yes, I know, the new mechanics and direction of the game, how Zani is better with Phoebe, Cartithia is smoother to play, and the team does better damage with the Shakona. And now enter Lupa and probably even Furlova, and you should have mono teams consisting of 3 fusion characters or 3 Havoc characters. But you know what? If the game is giving you a great gameplay experience, good and an improving story, amazing exploration, peak music and cutscenes, fun events that are actually enjoyable like TFT and Crisis event, and a great F2P experience where you are guaranteed a 5-star every patch because of the amount of rewards that they give. And of course, respects your time and feedback. Should you really fear not getting the full rewards from the tower because they are giving buffs that favor the current characters released? Or you have to have Shakona for Cartithia, or you have to have Brandt and Changli to get or even enjoy Lupa. So many games, and not just gacha games, have been falling off over the years, and people like myself just want a good game to play and enjoy. And if I'm getting that from Wuthering Waves, but their only way of making money would be power creeping characters or giving character specific buffs to their endgame, then I really don't care. It's not something that I haven't seen or experienced playing these games for the past decade. Anyway, these were just my thoughts as someone who's seen the growth and downfall of some of these games, and I hope you enjoyed another video on the internet glazing wuwa.